to record. There we go. All right. I'm recording. Yeah, Krista, I need somebody like you, love. I need help sometimes, I still haven't got a little sign I used to have in my old house on my desk. Record in big red. There we go. Welcome, ladies and gents. 10th of February. Wow, how time is absolutely rocketing on. But when we look back at a week, we realize how much we do actually achieve, even though the world seems to be spinning so much faster as time goes on. I don't know if it's just me coming of age or everybody's realizing or feeling that. So let's crack in and make the most use of your time here. You guys are committed, and you've committed your time, you've committed your energy. I'm committing my time to you as well. So let's get the most out of this. 10th of February, we're going to go through some training, continuations of what we actually spoken about before. So let's go through some recap. Now, here's the first thing. If you haven't seen the other training sessions, please refer back to them. They are all on Rumble. I think I'm putting them on, yes, they're on YouTube as well, if I remember. Otherwise, from the recordings in the Telegram group, go back because they actually do build one on the other. You can look at them independently. You're welcome to. They have more meaning and value to you when you add them in. So in the first week, this was now back in January, I shared with you Bridging the Gap. The gap is your goal activation plan. Then we began with understanding who you are. Who you now and who would you like to become? This is part of the who journey. And then last week, we went through and discussed a bit about how others see you. So here's the first question for you guys in the chats, those who were here last week. How far, percentage base, did you get with last week's exercise? And I think I've got that slide coming up just as a reminder. So yes, I do. Okay. So put in the chats, how far did you get with last week's exercise where you needed to ask 10 people to send you 5 adjectives? Shups, fantastic, my friend. Keep putting in there. So we're going to be going through today a lot about values. Keep going in the chat box there, guys. Those of you here last week, and I know a number of you were. Even if it's 30%, that's fine. Put down that number because you're holding yourself accountable on this. So John DeMartini says, what is highest on your values? Your identity revolves around it. Your innermost dominant thought is what you value most. And we're going to be talking about that shortly. So here's what we discussed last week. Joyce, 90%. Amazing. Elizabeth, congrats, man. 50%. And 50% may mean that 5 of the 10 people replied, that's fine. Here's what I know. Not everybody does. There are people who are a little bit hesitant in, they don't want to because they don't want to tell the truth. If you want, I asked 10, 8 responded. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Festina, I must say. I never got 8 responded. I think of my 10, 6 responded, if I remember correctly. But it is, it's probably a good couple of years since I've done the exercise last. Maybe I must redo it and see what happens now. So put it on that sheet, exactly what you do. So spend that time, and it doesn't take long to just go through this. 15 out of 10. Okay, Coach Bernard, you sit in your own little in your own world. We're going to build on this now. As last week we were doing the comparison, or not the comparison, wrong word. We were asking others that know, like, and trust us around us to give their perspective of us in 5 adjectives. Today, we're going to be breaking down you a little bit more. Now, here's something that I need to cover with you very, very carefully and very clearly here. When I do, before I even start working with a client, and it comes to that big question, what does it cost? Right? There's always a cost. My time is my value. There's a cost. I'm exchanging my value, my knowledge, my information, my wisdom in exchange for money, monetary value. Okay, so the question comes in. Here's the thing about understanding about cost. And you can actually take this and have a look how you can apply it within power gifting as well. Okay? There is a cost, but it's not the cost that you think. What do I mean by that? There's actually 3 stages or 3 elements to this. And it's all about investment. Now, this is important for you guys to really grasp. The first one is investment in yourself. You guys here need to invest in yourself. Now, I'm sharing a lot of detail in a very short period of time. A lot of these half-an-hour sessions are often 2 hours that I spend. So you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in yourself and understand that if you're going to progress and you're going to take full advantage of the information that Tim is sharing with you, you're going to get into your discomfort zone. Going to get outside of comfort and get into uncomfortable. That is where the change and true growth happens on the other side. But to get through to the other side, step one, you need to commit and invest in yourself. Step two is that you need to commit your time. Your time. Now, you committing your time, you're here already. High five to all of you. Congratulations. But this, you're taking outside of our time together. There's only so much I can share with you. Then you need to commit your time. Now, when you commit your time, find a strategy that works for you. Put it in your diary. Every day, some of you may know this, in my diary, I have blocked out. You will not get me, the extreme circumstances, you will get me in a meeting between 3 and 5 o'clock every day. That is Tim's time. Because the rest of my day is blocked out by Zoom meetings. Tim's time. And in there, that is when I allocate time for myself, my own development, my program development, whatever it is. What works for you? So that's number two. You are investing in yourself. The third one is my cost, not your cost. My cost. You see, my cost is my biggest asset, which is my time. And I'm happy to gift my time to you guys every Saturday morning. 100%. Happy to do it. I love doing it. It's my gift to you. That is the only true cost. You see, if you're paying a coach or you're paying somebody to progress and get where you want to go faster and more effectively, more efficiently, it's an investment that you're giving. The coach has the cost because money can be replaced, time cannot. So why is this important? Because I need to know from all of you. You're going to put in the chat box here, privately if you want, don't mind. Are you committed to investing in self, committed to investing in your time, and committed to making use of my cost, which is my time? That's your commitment that you're going to give to yourself. Put in the chat box there as I get started. Otherwise, I'm going to harp on that. Great progress. Those who've already done the exercise from last week, keep going with it. It's essential that thanks, Aaron, good man. It's essential that you do finish each of the exercises because as we go through, they're all going to interconnect. Chaps, great. Festina, love it. Rocky, beautiful. They all interconnect. Okay? They stand individually, great. But when you connect them and put them together, this is the power. And this is where we're going to be getting today. Wonderful stuff, guys. Now, 7 steps to finding empowerment. Now, what is this all about? These are the stages of what is called value determination. Let's just keep track of the time here. Okay, doesn't matter. I'll go over time. Well, if you need to jump off, then you do. Thanks, Joyce. Absolutely. Samsung, whoever Samsung may be, good to know. These are the 7 stages. Now, unpacking what you do naturally in your daily life. And often we don't realize what we do naturally because it's done by habit, unconsciously. But understanding the whole idea of where a person's purpose and values comes from and why they are so important is what we're going to be going through today. We want to make sure that everything that you do in your daily routines, in your life, is aligned to your values. Because when your goal is not aligned to your values, when your business, and I see this frequently when I'm dealing with corporates, is that when their goals are not aligned to their personal values, not company, personal values, then you're going to need constant motivation, constant inspiration. You're going to find that you procrastinate all the time and you just don't get the energy to be successful. It's not going to be easy. When your goal is aligned, you know your values and your goals are aligned to your values, ease, joy, success, and full fulfillment is found. and it's far less effort as well. Let's give a simple example for you. Here's a story. I think most of you are parents, but if you're not, you know people who are anyway. So let's say, as an example, you've got a mom. Mom is out shopping. So mom goes shopping. She's got two little kids, both under 10, one girl, one boy. And when mom goes to the mall, what does mom see? When mom walks around the malls, what does she see? Put in the chat box if you've got an idea what I'm talking about, if you know what she sees. Just picture this. Could be dad. I'm just using the example of mom. Mom's walking around the mall. She's got two little kids. Her kids are alive. She may be a stay-at-home mom with a small business on the side, power gifting maybe, something like that. She walks around. She sees kids' education. She sees kids' toys, kids' clothes, kids' food. It makes sense. You see, mom's value principles are the safety, security, well-being, education, growth of her children. That's what mom sees when she walks around. Now, little Johnny, he's 10 years old. He's a son. When little Johnny walks around the mall, what does he see? What are his values? Let's say, toys, got it. Let's say at home, little Johnny loves his video games. What kid these days doesn't love video games? Been going for years. He loves playing his video games. What are his value principles? Is it a clean and neat and tidy bedroom and doing his homework, or his video games? Where does he spend most of his time? Where does he spend most of his value? Playing his video game. So mom says, go tidy your room. He's got no interest. Now it's mom's values that she has a clean, organized house for the family. It's in her values, but is it in Johnny's values? No. So is he going to clean his room? Not without a lot of motivation. Sometimes not right. If mom can tie Johnny's values with her desires and her values, then he'll go and do it. So mom says, maybe Johnny's got an hour a day that he's allowed to play video games. And mom says, if you tidy your room, you get an extra 15 minutes. He wants to play his video games longer. So tapping into his values and understanding Johnny's values is essential in mom being able to not only have a harmonious family and less stress, but also her achieving her values. So that's why understanding each other's values is such an important aspect. So when we go through the values, when I went through the value principles, and I've done it many, many years ago, but then in my journeying when I was traveling, this was now, oh, goodness me, I can't even remember. This was something the end of 21, beginning of 2022. I went through the value determinants and I came up with 3 key ones. And this is where you'll all end up with is 3 main value principles after the exercise: education, business, and health. That came up as my primary areas of value. And when I did this, it was like a light bulb went on. Because at that time, and some of you even know me from back those days, this is now going back to 2018, 2019, BC, that I had a business I started called Wellness, Wealth, and Wisdom Legacy. I didn't know it at the time, but those were my values. That's where the whole idea came from. But once I knew that I knew, and I thought, well, this is my path. Everything that I do revolves around wellness, wealth, and wisdom, around education, around health, and around my business. Yes, family comes into it. Yes, a lot of other things come into it, but those are the 3 primary ones. When you know this, and when I know this, I'm inspired, motivated. It comes from inside. You need nothing from external. I'm not procrastinating. Because John DeMartini says, what is highest on your values? Your identity revolves around it. And your innermost dominant thoughts are what you value most. So if you're asking, how do I stay focused? I need to be motivated. I need inspiration from outside. Typically what you're doing is not aligned to your values. So we're going to be covering this today, and I'm going to start on the process of understanding your values. Okay? One very quick example personal example to identify this. Quite a few years ago, I ran a workshop called the Wealth Thinking Workshop, and I loved doing it. But this was when we had an office in Cape Town, and people came, sometimes free, sometimes sold tickets. It was great stuff. I loved doing it. And then when we had COVID, that office closed down and all that stopped. But as I was chatting to people about this still, because the economy and money and government corruption and banking corruption is all very interesting for me to understand where my money is and isn't going, people ask me all these questions. And I kept saying, well, I've actually got all these answers. I've got a program. And a couple of people said to me, well, can't you write a book? I thought, well, that'd be quite interesting. I take all this program that I've got and put it into an ebook just to share. I never did. I procrastinated on it. And there was a couple of people say, oh, have you got that book ready? I'd love to find out more about this and that and all the rest of this. And I just never got around to it until one day I sat down and said, but why? Why am I procrastinating on this? Because I learned that procrastination is purely a sign. And when I looked at it, I realized the reason for me writing it was wrong. I was writing it because other people asked. That's not my motivation. My motivation is to learn, disseminate, apply, and teach. So as soon as I then said, well, let me have a look at why I want to do this, and I aligned the purpose, the reason for writing that book to my values, it was done. And as Demartini says, when you do something low on your values list, you devalue yourself. When you do something high on your values list, then you value yourself. So the first determining step that we're going to go through is honestly and accurately determining your top 3 highest values. What are priorities to you? And if you've done this exercise before, do it again. If you've never done it before, be prepared, because what you may come up with may surprise you. That's the whole idea. Let's listen to Demartini here for a little bit. Just going to share something. Here we go. Please do quickly just, I'll keep the chats open there. Tell me if you can't hear the sound. You should be able to.
Human values underlie literally every aspect of human behavior. And the hierarchy of your values, the set of priorities you live your life by, dictate your destiny. Tell me what your values are,
It's soft.
where you're headed. So if you really want to know how to empower your life.
Why it's soft. Sorry, let me just quickly check my sound. I'm just going to quickly check my sound settings, but they should be. Good grief. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure that you can hear him. Just bear with me for a second. Let's try this now. Oops. No, wrong way. Hold on. Here we go. Let's try again.
Human values underlie literally every aspect of human behavior. And the hierarchy of your values, the set of priorities you live your life by.
Still soft, eh?
Tell me what your values are, I'll tell you.
I can't get louder.
So if you
This
really
is soft for everybody.
how to empower your life and do something extraordinary with your life, it's important to start with your values, because they underline the most important.
That's frustrating. Okay, I'm just going to try. Let's just bear with me. No, I really want this. Oh, goodness me. Okay, the video, you won't see it, but that's fine. Can you hear this?
Human values underlie literally every aspect of human behavior. And the hierarchy of your values, the set of priorities you live your life by, dictate your destiny. Tell me what your values are, I'll tell you where you're headed. So if you really want to know how to empower your life and do something extraordinary with your life, it's important to start with your values, because they underline the most important components of you empowering your life. You here to empower all
It's
areas. Whether it
still
be
soft. I think
intellectual
you must
power,
bring the
waking up
video
your
so we can lip
genius,
read.
whether it is building your business and being engaged and fully inspired by your work. And
No, this is
We can hear it's just soft. So maybe just bring the video. We can try and just really zero in on the sound.
be intellectual power and waking up your genius, whether it is building your business and being engaged and fully inspired by your work and doing something amazing in your career, whether it is going out and building wealth, because your hierarchy of values is dictating your financial destiny also, whether it is communicating effectively in relationships, because people want to be loved for who they are, and who they are revolves around what they value most, or whether it's waking up their leader, because when you're living by your highest values, you wake up your leadership, whether it be physical health and well-being, because when you're doing something you love and loving what you do, you have less symptoms, having to create feedback to get you authentic, and or whether you're just inspired. If you want an inspired state, it's living congruently according to your values. So the value determination process is a cornerstone of an empowered life. In any area of your life you're not empowered in, people are going to overpower you, and you're going to be distracted and infiltrate ideas from other people to stop you from living by your highest values. So it's so important to fill your day with the highest priority actions, so you're not filling up your life with lower priority distractions. So often, I've been doing value determinations for many, many decades now, and so many people, what they think is important in their life is actually a bunch of injected values from outer influencing people they've subordinated to, mothers, fathers, preachers, teachers, and they haven't actually given themselves permission to live authentically, to make the biggest difference in the world. That's how you make the difference, standing out, not fitting in, being authentic to what's really valuable to you. I said on the movie The Secret many years ago, when the voice and the vision on the inside is louder than all opinions on the outside, you begin to master your life.
I'm going to play that last sentence again.
Different, standing out, not fitting in, being authentic to what's really valuable to you. I said on the movie The Secret many years ago, when the voice and the vision on the inside is louder than all opinions on the outside, you begin to master your life. When the voice and visions on the inside are greater and louder than those on the outside, you start to master your life. I hope you managed to pick up most of that at least, but I'll share with you the link where you can actually listen to the full recordings, because that's just a short clip. Now, I use Demartini's value principles. He's the expert. I'm not going to go and reinvent the wheel. This guy's been doing it for 50 years. I think he knows what he's got right now. So that's where I bring in the value determinants as part of what it is that I share. So just going quickly back on my notes here quickly. Okay. Align your career and business to these highest values, what you do. Sorry, so there's actually an exercise. I'm going to give you the link, and you guys are then going to, because you've all committed and invested in yourself, you're going to be doing this in your own time. We don't have the time now to do this. Everything gets done online. Okay. So what you do becomes aligned with it, your career, your business. You set your goals and your objectives to these. These are the whys you're doing it. And I shared a very quick story of my own. You set daily steps that are aligned to these values. These are the hows. Yeah? And daily you ask questions, how the things you are doing serve and benefit these values. When you know your highest values, then you're inspired, and other relationships are then become inspired. When you ask questions like, is this event or this experience or this opportunity aligned to my values? Will it benefit these three values? And if the answer is yes, you go for it. It's like your lighthouse, your guide. If the answer is no, stop and reassess. Either reassess your reason why you're doing it, or leave it. If it's not aligned, you're not finding value, you could be wasting a lot of your valuable time. Then during the day, ensure what you're doing is aligned. Sometimes we need to outsource things. So if a project's important or something is important to do, find somebody else whose values are aligned to that, which is not aligned to you, because everybody's values are different. For example, I do a lot of marketing on social media.
It's not a core value of mine. Right now, I'm doing it out of necessity. As soon as I financially can, that I'm outsourcing to somebody else's values who gain huge amount of just, they're so passionate about doing social media and the marketing and the wording and the message. So what's not valuable for you, drop it, reassess, or outsource it. Right. Let me see now. What is it? Okay, let's jump straight in. This is what you need. Now I'm going to copy this and whoops, this is what it, sorry, I wasn't meant to do that. Let me go back. I'm going to copy this now and put it in the chats for you. This is the Demartini value determining process. And it's what he does for free. It's online. And what I love about doing it online is that once you've registered, and you register your own profile on his platform, there's a lot of videos, explains it in beautiful detail there. Exactly how you go through these 13 questions to come with your value, determine your values at the end of it, is that it saves it. So in 3-6 months' time, because your values do change, you go back, redo it, and it gives you a brilliant comparison. So you can then see where your growth is actually. So that's why I do it online, utilizing his system. But I'm going to drop this for you. As soon as we've finished, I'll be able to, hang on, I can do it right now, so I don't forget. I've got a slow laptop today. Maybe that's why the sound. And then you'll also find the full video of this. Okay, so today we're talking about value determinants. There's a little quote for you there by Brenny, not how to pronounce that, Brown. All right, ladies and gents. Now that is a long exercise. Where are we? Sorry, I'm going to come back to you guys now. Yeah. I'm having a bit of a blonde Saturday. So it is an exercise that does require some serious focus. And that's why I asked for your commitment. Are you committed to yourself right at the beginning? It does take, I'd say you probably need to allocate a good hour and a half in order to do that. Okay. So enjoy that process. Go through it all. Pleasure, Krista. It's an add-on to what I've already covered, because those 3 values we're now going to take next week. We're going to put those 3 values together with the core 3 values of what you want, the core 3 values of what your closest friends and families have come about with, and we're going to put it together, and you're going to start seeing a clear picture of who you actually will become. Because these are your value determinants. These are the things that you're going to focus on, and you will find life just becomes a whole lot easier when you are all aligned, when it's all aligned to you. Okay, hope that makes sense. And I haven't confused anybody. Anybody confused? Krista, I love it. Thank you very much. And if you have missed them, please go back and watch the other recordings and watch them on 1.5 speed if you need to. Pleasure, Andre. Hey, you used to be in that office those days when I had my other businesses as well. And is it amazing how, as time goes on, you start to realize and see the synchronicities of where you came from and how that journey is so important. All right, that's Tim's coaching for the day. I hope that was valuable for you guys. Brick and mortar days, yes, those are the days, Andre. Wow, how things have changed. But now we get to meet people all over the world, as we've got here today, and of course in the sessions. Now, couple of other things to go through it, because we want to do some Q&A. There's actually been something. Pleasure, Joyce. There's actually been something in the comments on the Telegram group that's come up. But I want to just ask Dr. C to come in and share. We had a very detailed conversation, him and myself, and then I took this to the mentors as well, about just how can we call it, Dr. C? A red flag, a warning, a education, knowledge, insight about get-rich-quick schemes and what's actually happening now, years down the line. Where are you? Are you here? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning, everybody. So nice to be on the call with all of you, and I love that video, Tim. Was a bit difficult, but I managed to just tune myself completely in to hear. And so it's so very important for us to have those values, in place within our lives, because that is our bedrock. That is the thing that gives us the stability to actually live ourselves out as a full person. So very, very important. So we had a conversation in the week, and it's based on, we, uh,
Dr. C, hold on a sec. Is it just me or is it your signal? Hold on.
Signal.
Dr. C, we can't actually hear you, my friend.
And
hold on. How's it?
Unbeknown to us, some of these opportunities. Yeah, it's mine. Yeah, it's mine.
Okay, do you want to start again?
Unstable,
Sorry, you disappeared. You're back.
How about now?
Yep.
No?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in load shedding at the moment. So if you can hear me, just throw a thumbs up. I'm in load shedding at the moment. Just throw a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, so we had a conversation in the week. Basically, talking around many opportunities of online platforms that comes our way, and you do the due diligence to look into the thing. Some of these seem very credible when you look into these platforms, and you find you look at the business registration and check it out and whatever the case may be, and sometimes these things look so credible that you really truly believe in that platform and in its message that it carries, and you get involved into these platforms, and sometime down the line, in a year, less than a year, or maybe just under 2 years, then these platforms, they fold and they disappear. And what happens is, you just, because you believed in it and the thing gets rug pulled and it disappears, you continue with your life thinking, everything is okay. I lost some money, or people lost money, but what can we do? Let's just move on. And unbeknown to us is that these things seem to come around, and bite you in the back, a few years down the line. And we experienced that at this, 3 years down the line. Many of us were in a platform and we experiencing the
I'm on my way. I had to almost left and
Apologies.
Okay. So many of us seem to have these things come back and bite us in the behind, because you trusted these things, and there's people at this stage that is now facing being contacted by people to recover funds, even though you believed and trusted in these things. Because you've benefited, you've got in early, you got some money out, because you benefited, you become liable, legally liable to repay, because if it's found to be a Ponzi or a scheme or a scam, you become legally liable to repay on those funds that you pulled out of a platform that you thought was a credible thing. And so the cost of what you have to repay is much higher than what you benefited from, as we've seen, So we, just want to put this out there, that if a platform holds money, it's a risk. I don't even want to, you know, turn, not be open about it. I want to be open about what I believe in this regard. I want to be open with everybody here and say to you that if a platform holds your money, it's a risk. I've seen it. I've seen it over the years. I've been in online platforms since 2010. Since 2010, I've been in online platforms. I've worked online platforms. I brought people in, and I've seen since then, every 2 years, 3 years most, being in an online platform that holds people's money, those things crash. Okay. And unfortunately, when the lawsuits comes and the law kicks into place, people that trusted these platforms is the worst off, because they come knocking at your door for that money that people lost. And so we want to send out this alarm to you. Be very careful of the kind of platforms that you get yourself involved in. And this is the reason I want to say to you that I fully trust what we are doing as Power Gifting, because we're not holding anybody's funds. We are gifting each other. When you send somebody a gift, like people were giving each other gifts at Christmas, do you now go back 2-3 months down the line and say, can I have my gift back for you to give me a gift also? Or I'm waiting too long for somebody else to give me a gift. Can you give my gift back, please? You don't go and ask a gift back. You don't go and ask if you've given to a charity. You don't go to the charity and say, nobody's been charitable to me. I see my internet connection is unstable again. You don't go to a charity and ask the charity, give my donation back, because nobody has been charitable to me yet. You understand? And so the place that we have right now is a safe place, a place where a community can be good towards each other without having that fear of loss. We have a safe place where the community's heart and mind is to be good towards each other. And whether you do or don't get a gift in return, it shouldn't matter, because you gave somebody a gift that helped them in the time of their need. You were good to somebody else. And there's a blessing in that, because I love that one scripture, and I'm going to give you the scripture. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 11. It says, cast your bread upon the waters, and after many days it will return to you. And this is exactly what we see in Power Gifting, that we are being good to somebody else, and after many days, others are good to us. And we've seen in previous, gifting environments that maybe you don't get that gift back from where you're at the moment, but some other way somebody comes and they are good to you just because you decided to be good to somebody else. And yes, you've used the vehicle of this platform, but I firmly believe that you do not only get your reward back from this platform. You get your reward back from elsewhere also, because your spirit is giving into goodness. So goodness will find you wherever you are. So be very careful with where you trust when it comes to online platforms, and look at those red flags that we've mentioned, and then come back and look at power gifting. And Tim does it so well with the presentations, when he comes with the presentations, and he does it so well to say these are the golden nuggets, and go and look at those golden nuggets again, and make sure that whatever you get involved in aligns to this safe space, so that you at the end of the day can purely benefit in the way that you should.
100%. Yeah, thanks so much for sharing that. I think it's a very, very important message to send out to your network, to the communities. Yes, you can make money quickly now, and a lot of people want to do that, but be warned, because in South African law, I'm not sure internationally, I think it's the same, but don't quote me, South African law, they have 3 years that they can go and attach your assets. By law, if the High Court deems it to be an illegal scheme and you gained illegally, they can go and claim, attach your personal assets in your personal capacity. Otherwise, if you don't defend yourself, and you have to defend yourself, and it means lawyers' fees. I know too many people who are spending a lot of money. So guys, just that exact warning. Thanks, Clinton. You really set it out. You set it out. So in our last few minutes together, I would love to open up the chats, the questions, the Q&A, be it on something of today, something about what Dr. C mentioned, anything about power gifting. Put in the chats or raise your hand. I'm actually just going to quickly touch on something which has been coming up a little bit in conversation, and maybe Ningi can also jump in on this one as well. So in the meantime, put your hand up if you've got a question, or in the chats if you've got something as well. And that's around sponsors. If you're sponsoring somebody in, so you're graciously giving $8 to help somebody who doesn't have $8 to join our community, and whose IRP code, whose referral code is actually then used. So this has come up a couple of times. On this, very, very clearly, if you are graciously giving $8, and Ningi ran a whole sponsor campaign last year, is that if you're giving the $8, you're contributing to gift that as a gift to give somebody the opportunity to join the community. Does not mean that your IRP code is going to get used, because somebody else has still gone out to the community to speak to people, to get their interest, to say, yes, I'd love to be part of it. I really want to be, and I can be part of the community. I just don't have $8. So it's a gift that you're giving with no expectation of anything in return. Okay. So please understand, if you are gifting $8 because there's an initiative being run to help somebody, the person who introduces that others, that's going to be their IRP code, or their choice of what code goes in. It's not yours. If you want to build your 25 so that you can leap like a legend, take your $8, go out there and find those people yourself, bring them in. There's plenty of friends, family, people, community people, people in your church, people in your organization that would love to be part of it, don't have $8. You go do the work and then use your IRP code. So I just want to really clear that up. Ask Ningi if she's got an opinion and perspective on that, because I don't see we've got any other questions. Ningi, how are you?
I'm very well. Hello, family. I've missed you guys so much. I'm sorry I had to leave home. We have had no power for hours. So I had to come to a coffee shop just to chat to you guys. Tim, you've explained it very well. The thing we must remember is we are responsible for who we bring. The other reason that people are referenced to one another with the IRP code, one, it's for recognition. Secondly, it's who's responsible for that person. When you bring someone here, they know you. They may not know the person offering $8 to help them, but they know you. So you, as a person who's vouching for their integrity, because that's what you're doing when you bring someone into our community, you are vouching for their integrity. If there's anything with them, the community can then contact you. That person will forever know you. So that is why it's best that they are linked with a person who knows them personally and can vouch for their integrity rather than the person who donates for them to be part of the community. Though we are extremely grateful for the generosity, it is important that we link people with the people they know so that we know who's responsible for everyone's integrity in the community. Thank you so much.
100%, guys. Okay. And just as a side note, for those who are involved with Festina, which we're not going to go into right now, Power 24/7 sits, because of the structure of it, sits on a separately. We're talking about the general information or the general sponsoring of people. So Ningi, wonderful to have you back. I know you've been traveling and been doing family things, and it's a real that one of Ningi's values, I know it without question, is her community and her family. She'll do anything for them. I know that. So, ladies and gents, we have no other questions. I don't think there's been anything else specifically come up. We've had Aaron asking, I think it was Aaron. Thanks for that, Aaron. Where is it? Yes, asking about what's the latest with the platform. Guys are still busy. We weren't giving a timeline on it. The worst thing to do for anybody is say, yes, 3-4 days, and then the programmers take 5. Dr. Clinton's got to go through and evaluate all the information before it then gets opened up. So we'd rather say, bear with us. We want to get this right. The programmers want to get everything right so that it's done. There's new videos which are going to come there. I've shared those new videos, new training videos on, have you seen all of those which are on? I've put on the training on the Telegram. They're going to go on the site. There's a new 5-minute overview. I think I squeezed it actually to 6 or just over 6 minutes. That's there as well. So we will have a website that you're going to be proud of. And when you're talking to people, you open up the website and that's what you share, that all the information they need is on there, so you don't have to be the magic. You can just be the messenger. So yeah, program is still busy, but that does not mean you're not talking to people. You've got the videos, you've got the information. We're here on Monday, we're here on Tuesday. By the way, wow, what Coach Bernard, thumbs up to you, my friend. What you're doing with Sandra from Canada on Tuesdays, magic. If you guys have not jumped in, get in on that training. The how you do it is essential. That's what they're sharing. So really join on Tuesdays. It's powerful. If you can't get there, get on that recording. Coach Bernard on Thursday. Me, did I say Monday? You know I'm there on Monday. And then next week, Saturday, I look forward to seeing you all. Unmute. Have a wonderful weekend. Let's make some noise. And I'll see you all on Monday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye.
Bye, family.
Bye.